There is a common narrative which is perpetuated across the internet that bodybuilders, strongmen, people with a lot of mass on their frames can't fight. The muscle gets in the way of the movement, and whilst that is true to a certain extent, there are outliers, and today we're talking about one of these outliers, Eddie Hall. Now, if you've been living under a rock for the last few years and you don't know who Eddie Hall is, so he's the former world's strongest man. He was the first to deadlift 500 kilograms, and then he crossed over into boxing. He fought Hafthor Bjornsson, who's another world's strongest man, and they had a boxing match. Now, although Eddie lost that fight, he caught a lot of criticism. People were saying that he doesn't know how to fight, he was only throwing one punch, and this criticism is often to be expected because anytime someone's coming from another sport and crossing over into fighting, I sometimes believe that they are unfairly judged. The question of can somebody fight is flawed. The question really should be, to what extent can somebody fight? And here on this channel, we've been following the likes of Eddie Hall and Brian Shaw, these big strong men. We've been following their fighting journeys, and I believe Eddie Hall is looking really good. And today we're going to be reacting to Eddie Hall sparring Tom Aspinall. This is exclusive footage. Eddie hasn't even published this on his channel. As you can see right here, it says unlisted. So big shout out to Eddie Hall for giving us this exclusive footage to react to. Now, we have seen clips of Eddie Hall training with Tom Aspinall, and Eddie looked decent, and I want to take this opportunity on my channel as a Tom Aspinall and Eddie Hall fan to showcase some of the improvements that Eddie Hall has made. And also, if you don't know, the reason why this is relevant is because Eddie Hall has got his first MMA fight this Friday, and it's kind of unique because it's a 2 versus 1 MMA fight. And also, some of you may have missed, but I actually interviewed Eddie Hall yesterday on this channel. I'll leave that interview in the description or on the end screen of this video, but go and watch it. So yeah, big shout out to Eddie Hall for that interview. Super cool guy. But anyway, Tom is the current UFC heavyweight champion of the world. Let's jump into this footage and see how Eddie Hall is looking. Now, one thing you really notice here is the speed difference between Tom and Eddie. But Eddie Hall's 160 kilograms, so of course he's going to be a little bit slower than Tom Aspinall. Plus, Tom moves like a lightweight. But in the interview that me and Eddie Hall had yesterday, Eddie said that he was working a lot on his triple jabs in order to close the distance. And then also, one of his biggest lessons is keeping his guard up. So previously, when he was boxing, he would drop his guard slightly. His new coach is drilling into him until it's second nature to keep those hands up. I mean, even just that jab to low kick, it's so simple yet incredibly fundamentally sound. You just don't see it coming. Jab, low kick, then he expects the counter from Eddie and he circles off. Now, one thing that we can see here is Eddie's keeping his hands down, but mainly when he's out of range. Every time Eddie gets back into range, he brings his guard up, which is good. Now, we did see a little bit briefly here, his right hand is down by his chest. So this is what he said his coach will be punishing him for, is keeping that hand up, because we all seen that video of Eddie getting head kicked and it was on his right side. Even the most professional, best boxers in the world, they'll throw a jab and they'll let the hands come down. Although they say really what you want to do is master the fundamentals and master the basics and master the core fundamental rules and principles of striking. So then you can break the rules. Eddie dropping his hand a little bit there, so that is open for Tom to get a nice easy check hook on him or even a jab. And also, guys, can we get a like on this video, please? This is exclusive footage right here. You will not find this anywhere on the internet. Maybe Eddie will give it out to a few more people, but drop a like on this video for Eddie being such a legend, giving us this footage. I appreciate it loads. And drop a like on the video for me as well. Help me out. That was a nice jab hook by Tom then. You heard Eddie's coach there say, work the jab, come on. Now, the last few seconds there, Eddie was getting a little bit mesmerised by Tom's movement. You kind of get stuck sometimes admiring someone's work in front of you. Tom was all fluid, he's bouncing around, and Eddie just stopped throwing. And that was a good read by the coach there. The coach said, come on, Eddie, get on your jab. Now, that was a nice jab. You see, he actually caught Tom there, kind of got him a little bit as he was circling out, made Tom lose his balance slightly. Now, I couldn't tell if Tom's uppercut landed as well, but good jab by Ed. Nice little attempt at head movements there by Eddie. And you see how hard it is to trap Tom in the corner. Now, Eddie dropped his head a little bit when he threw that 1-2, and it's okay to keep your chin down as you throw the 1-2, but he kind of dropped his head a little bit more than you really should, as you can see there. Now, you can get away with this a little bit more when you're throwing overhands right, but you just got to be careful going into this position, especially against someone who's as big as Tom Aspinall, because Tom could get the read on you and easily just throw an uppercut there. More of them by Eddie, please. Double jab, right hook. Something happened to Eddie's eye there. I'm not too sure what it was.
Good shot.
Nice. So sneaky by Tom then, sneaking that left hook in. So Eddie done the right thing. He was moving in. He kept his chin tucked. He kept his guards up. Although, however, look what happens to that right hand as Eddie throws the jab. So there you go. His right hand drops and that opens up the left hook for Tom Aspinall right there. Now, Eddie could have negated that and prevented that from happening if he threw the jab and then just kept the hands there before he threw the right hand and then threw it. Whereas Eddie threw the jab, brought this hand down, and then went to throw the overhand right, or the straight right hand. But in that gap between his hands being here and then coming down to throw it, that's where Tom caught him. A fast jab by Tom. Okay, so that was the first round. So what we're watching here is 3 2-minute rounds. Now, I'd really like to see Eddie throw some kicks here, especially as Tom is circling to Eddie's right, because as Tom is circling over to us, Eddie could throw a nice low kick at Tom's knee, or even a calf kick. And Eddie said in yesterday's interview that he has been practicing his kicks. He said they're not pretty, but they've got a lot of power in them. But I think adding that little wrinkle to his game would be very beneficial to Eddie, especially in this sparring here, and especially against someone as good as Tom Aspinall, who's got that movement. If you're able to chop at those legs and take away that movement, it'll open up the punches up top more so for Eddie. So Eddie, if you're watching, get those low kicks on Tom. Okay, maybe don't snap his shin. Now, we also noticed that the 1-2s are working a lot better for Eddie now. He's committing to them a lot more. He's only going for body shots right now, but that's good because it's going to open up the head shots for Eddie. Oh, and that's good as well. The coach said power down. Just a little bit too much power that Eddie was using then on that exchange. So power down. Good coaching there. I love that. The coach could just let this get out of hand. But the two big boys, it's good to have that third party regulate the power and regulate the egos. I love that. Great coaching. The body jab by Tom. That combo by Tom, he's good, isn't he? He goes body jab here, and then he does this up top to get Eddie thinking, what's coming? And then goes body again whilst Eddie's hands are up, and then throws a combination to the head. High level. But that was also nice by Eddie. Eddie feinted up high, went bang, nice body jab to Tom, and that actually pushed Tom back there. Eddie's got strong punches, so nice little feint by Ed. I love that. A good body jab by Tom. Making Eddie react a bit there. Eddie's feeling it. I know that feeling, Ed. I want you to pay attention to something as well. Look at the body language of both of these gentlemen. Tom Aspinall is very floaty. He's just kind of like this, and he's throwing out shots, dead light. He's bump, flicking the jab, throwing the right hand, little leg kick. Dead light, dead loose, dead relaxed. Eddie obviously is a little bit more tense because he's fighting Tom Aspinall. There's these weird combinations coming at him. He doesn't know what shot's coming next. So Eddie's a little bit more, and Eddie's blitzing a bit more. Whereas Tom, very light and loose. And that's a tip that not only I give to Eddie, but I also reiterate for myself. And any of you guys, especially you who already fight, you'll know what it's like. Sometimes you need to relax and you need to reset and go, I'm too uptight, shake it out and feel yourself a little bit and get into a little bit more of a flow state. Otherwise you're burning too much energy, just being static, trying to defend all the shots, trying to force too much. See, very big movements by Ed. That was a nice little feint by Tom then. He went through a couple punches, faked the lead leg front kick, and then threw a low kick. Nice body jab by Eddie again. That was nice, that by Tom. Let's just admire his work. Watch what Tom does here. He traps Eddie's left hand with his right hand. So Eddie thinks he's going to the face. Because if you look at Tom's right hand, you think, okay, that's a punch. If you're Eddie Hall, you think Tom was coming in with that right hand. But it's not. It's just to disguise that sneaky left hook going to the stomach there. That won't have felt nice. Now, whilst Eddie is covered up and his vision is affected, he can't really see where Tom is. Tom throws the right hand and then creates the angle and then throws the left hook as well. All under control too. Not hard punches, but just very precise. Really good combination. Tom Aspinall has got absolute fantastic boxing. Eddie acknowledges. Hey, just simple body, head, nice. See, Eddie's just battling fatigue now. Tom's faking the leg kicks. Good double jab by Ed. Okay, there's the second round done. Going into the third round now. That was nice as well. Tom just getting Eddie to react right and then throwing left. Looks like Tom went for the knee there. Nice. See the way Tom's just flicking it? Them punches there cost like zero energy, whereas Eddie's a little bit, the bigger punches, so they're going to be a lot more taxing on Eddie's gas tank. Nice head kick there by Tom, that was good. With nice control as well. Tom looks really good to spar with. Got really great sparring etiquette, I love it. I think what Tom said there is, I'm trying to get you to bring your arm up. So Tom threw that high kick to try and remind Eddie, get your hand up. Nice body kick. Body kick again. You see how Eddie's punch there was just, it had quite a bit of power on it. And if that would have landed, that would have actually hurt Tom. You need to focus on keeping the power down and just placing your shots and staying relaxed so you don't gas yourself out, because Tom Aspinall can make you miss all day. Tom doesn't really have to do anything and he can make you beat yourself. Pardon. There you go. Double jab to the body by Ed. Ah, that body kick. It's nice. Low kick as well. Tom was just running away then. He's like, get me out of here. Let's watch that again. Look at him. Look at Tom. I love that moment. I actually, when Eddie first sent me this footage, I emailed him back and said, that bit cracked me up. So right now, right here, boom, you see the right hand connect, and then that left hand, I don't think the left hand's connected. And Eddie's doing the right things, trying to make the fight dirty, he's trying to smother Tom, but trying to get Tom against the fence. It's like friggin' trying to catch a cat. He's so elusive. Even Eddie just laughs and shakes it off. Hey, good jab by Eddie. Nice. He timed that well. Once again, that fake high, go low jab of Eddie's is actually quite decent. He's done that about 3 or 4 times on Tom Aspinall now. Oh, my days, Tom. Nice overhand right, Eddie. That's it. That was actually quite sick. So he doubled up on the jab. Or did he triple up on the jab? Let's watch again. 1, 2, 3, and then the overhand right. That was perfect because he tripled up on the jab, got Tom to move backwards, and then as soon as Tom's back was against the cage and had nowhere else to go, because where does Tom go here? And he could go to the right, but unfortunately, Eddie's already in the middle of throwing that overhand right. So, really good shot by Eddie. Ah, great movements. Great movements. Now let's watch that again. Eddie does what he'd done before, and he just dropped his right hand a little bit too soon. So Tom was already in the process of throwing his left hook, and if Eddie would have kept his hand here, Tom's left hook wouldn't have landed. But watch Eddie's right hand. You see it come down as he throws that jab. So as Eddie's left hand comes out, it's kind of paired and coupled with his right hand coming down, and that's why Tom's able to catch that left hook, that check left hook, almost every single time. So look what happens. Tom has got enough time to just evade that punch. Absolutely fantastic. And that was it. So the point I wanted to make with this video is I believe that Eddie has made massive improvements in his striking. Now, the same with every single video. There will be haters in the comments and people saying, Eddie needs to do this and Eddie's doing this wrong. You've got to remember, he's not a fighter. He had around 8 weeks of boxing training for the Hathor Bjornsson fight 2 years ago. And then he'd done about 5 months worth of MMA training to fight the current world's strongest man, Mitch Hooper, which was meant to be in February. That fight got cancelled. We also talk about what happened with that Strongman MMA event in the interview that me and Eddie done yesterday, so go and check that out. And this boxing training with Tom Aspinall was a part of the training that he was doing for the Strongman MMA event, so there's no point comparing Eddie Hall to a professional fighter. That's sometimes what I hate about the fight world, is that unless you are a professional with perfect technique, it's just like, you're crap. No, there's a spectrum, and Eddie Hall has made decent improvements, especially since that first Hathor Bjornsson fight. And okay, although this fight on the weekend is a 2 versus 1, there's a bit of silliness behind it. It's sports entertainment at the end of the day. Eddie's still being putting in proper, legit work. You do not spar with Tom Aspinall for multiple rounds every single week and just joke around or not get better. It's impossible to not get better by sparring people of that caliber. So I think, judging by this footage, Eddie's made some decent improvements. I would like to see some of those leg kicks from him. He's got power. He says they're not pretty, but it's okay. Your leg kicks don't really need to be super pretty. When you weigh 160 kilos and you can squat 400 kilos, your leg kick doesn't really need to be pretty. It's going to hurt regardless. But yeah, anyway, Eddie's got his fight this Friday. You can follow him on Instagram. I'll leave his socials down below. And he's fighting for the World Freak Fight League. And I'm sure we'll cover the fight on this channel after it's happened on Friday and break it down. So big shout out to Eddie Hall for this exclusive footage. I super appreciate it. And also big thanks to Eddie for the interview yesterday. If you haven't seen that interview yet, I'll pop it up somewhere on the screen right now. Give it a watch. Eddie's a great guy. We dive deep on a few questions and I think you will all like it. Okay, peace out. See you tomorrow.